Hey, how you doing? This is RJ. Today I'm going to do my weekly review and show you what I got in my dollar boxes. I like to do this every week just to break things up a little bit, and I always show you the things I got in my dollar box because, I mean, this is my stack of new stuff for the week. 2 comics. This is my stack of dollar box stuff. And I mean, I'm looking for quality no matter where I go, even if I'm going looking through dollar boxes. And this stack is much thicker than these 2 comics here. And this is the kind of stuff you're finding in dollar boxes because that's what comics has come to. And here we have Earth 2 stuff, and this is really good. I mean, this is the kind of stuff I was talking about. I double bagged some of these already because I'm cheap, basically. And but this Earth 2 stuff, this is what I was talking about the other day when I was talking about, you know, non-continuity. Go back to what they had in DC, in the Bronze Age, right? Where they could put stuff in there and do a story from another Earth and just not break their continuity for their main line, but just put these good stories in there. They could be great stories. I really wish that DC would keep up with this kind of thing. This is amazing, and it treats your heroes right because they know that they have to concentrate on the story, not on their continuity and just ride on the coattails of the people who have put out terrific stories before them. And I found a Conan, one that actually fills up one of the holes in my Conan that I had. I couldn't believe I found it in the dollar box. It was great. And I'm probably going to just pull out a whole bunch of my old Conan when Marvel's new Conan falls flat in its face. I really hope it doesn't, but it's really looking like it's going to. And I found Cormac McArt. If you don't know anything about Cormac McArt, it's Irish heroes, Irish mythology. I actually want to do something tomorrow probably about Halloween, about Irish mythology. So I thought Cormac McArt, that's great. That's beautiful cover, by the way, as well. Old Dark Horse. And then I found some Deathstroke, and I'm not that keen on Deathstroke, but for $1, you know. And then I found Age of Apocalypse. I mean, this looks like the old stuff that I used to read in the 90s. This is really good stuff, and it's stuff that's in the dollar box. Again, I love this Secret Wars. I'm picking up everything that I can into the dollar boxes of this because it's like that non-continuity stuff. It's like a what if. It's amazing stuff that's just a self-contained story. And I got every one of them out of the dollar box. And look at the art. That's amazing. I mean, this is beautiful art. Yeah, beautiful art. Plot as well. And I got every one of them. So it's a self-contained story. It's great. This is the kind of thing that they should be producing if you ask me. And I picked up the Unknown Soldier because I had to. It's the Unknown Soldier. It was beat up a little bit, but I don't care. It's Unknown Soldier. And my 2 of the independent books. I got First Comics here with Warp. And then there's a Secret 6 there. But the 2 books that I wanted to look at this week from the new pile are the Terrifics. Now, the reason why I got into the Terrifics to begin with was because I picked it up in a dollar box. Not this one, but I think it was number 2. And it was already in the dollar box like a month or 2 after it actually came out. And it's actually kind of good. And the reason why I like it is because, well, they're ripping off Fantastic Four. It's basically DC ripping off Fantastic Four, and I really don't care that they're ripping off Fantastic Four because if Marvel's not going to do a good Fantastic Four, then let DC do a good one. As long as they get a good story, that's great. That's all I want. Now, to start off, this cover, some of these covers are okay with this. I don't know what it is, foil embossed, but this one, not so much, because it looks like a beautiful piece of art underneath, and they ruined it because you can't make out any detail whatsoever. You really got to squint. I mean, you can probably see more detail on this picture that I'm showing you than actually the picture that's hitting me in the face because it's just too much, way too much coming at you. And here's the thing about the Terrifics. It's part of the New Age of Heroes, and I actually think that it's probably the best book of the New Age of Heroes. That's just me, but at the same time, what they're doing is DC is ripping off all of Marvel's 90s heroes. And that's what they're doing. That's what the entire plan seems to be for this New Age of Heroes. And I really wish that it had done better. I think this is number 9. It's probably going to end up being a 12-issue miniseries. So I don't think that that's what they should do. I think they should continue on with this and just pour some more good storytelling into it. And here's the problem. Okay. Starts off kind of silly because they're stuck in another dimension. And again, it's a ripoff of Fantastic Four. So you have Plastic Man, who is, you know, Mr. Fantastic. You have Metamorpho, who's the Thing. You have a Phantom Girl who is Invisible Woman, and you have Mr. Terrific who is, well, again, another version of Mr. Fantastic. So you also got Tom Strong just thrown in there. So it's kind of a mix. And the thing is that I really like the story because it's talking about, basically, you have most of the characters stuck in another dimension trying to figure out how to get out. And that's what Tom Strong does. You know, he moves from dimension to dimension, and they're just trying to survive in this new dimension without having a way out. And you have, at the same time, Tom Strong and Mr. Fantastic outside of Gotham fighting the Swamp Thing, and then they go into Gotham because that's where Mr. Terrific's tower of, basically, his ripoff of what the Fantastic Four tower is. Anyways, but the point is that this jumps around a little too much, because I'm dipping in and out of this because, well, the price point for this is what, $3, you know, which is pretty good, but still, if I'm going to find it in the dollar box in a couple of months, why bother paying $3 for it? So I'm not getting all the issues, but that's the thing. This book looks like it's written for a trade, and I really hate it when they do that, because it jumps all over the place and it expects you to be immersed in every last part of the story. Even if I had bought this new every issue, I probably would have forgot some of these points by the time this one had come out. I mean, that's the thing. You can tell if you are reading the thing continuously and you go from one issue to another, and you can say to yourself, I don't remember, was that something that happened in the last issue? That was a month ago. I don't really understand what's going on. If that's what happens, you can tell it's being written for a trade. And that's a disservice to people who buy comic books. If you ask me, you should concentrate on the comic book. If it does well as a trade, if you want to make it a trade later, great. If you have to change it a little bit, go ahead. But don't. Your initial reader is the people who are buying these comics. Concentrate on them. And here you go. As I was saying, they have, this is a ripoff of the Fantastic Four, right? Because here's your villain. Your villain, of course, is their version of Dr. Doom. All they did was change the color motif from green to red and gray to silver. There you go. It's just Dr. Doom. And the story is that this character has, trapped the other Terrifics in another dimension and is basically trying to, humiliate Mr. Terrific and destroy Gotham at the same time with, I think it was a nuclear explosion. And so everybody will blame him and he'll be killed at the same time and his memory will be wiped away. And that's basically what it is, just a revenge story. But at the same time, like I said, it's a good story. If you want to spend $3 on it, go right ahead. I don't think you'll regret it. The art is certainly amazing. It reminds me of Alan Davis. It's really good art, and it really just the kind of art and the kind of story, it really captures that 90s kind of feel. So if you like that, I think it's worth $3. I'm certainly not going to throw it out or anything. It's going to be part of my collection. It's certainly not going to be top tier material, but certainly worth $3, and it's a good book. But here's the book that I picked up that it's just beating everything that I'm picking up of Marvel and DC. And it's an alternate book. And it's Zero Jumper. And if you've been around my channel, you know I've already done reviews of the first 3 of these. This is an amazing book. I mean, it looked like it might become a little SJW at the first. And it had a little problem starting off, I think, with the storytelling. But it really just kept on getting better and better. And there's no SJW nonsense in it. And it's done by Patrick Mulholland. And I think he does everything. He does the story and he does the art. But I think he does everything, and the lettering and everything else as well. And here's a guy that I think we should support as a comic producer. Now, I follow him on Twitter. And the thing is that, you know, I don't like his politics, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't shove them in your face. And he certainly doesn't stick them in his comics. And at the same time, he is a spectacular artist. I mean, this guy, he still has some room to grow, certainly. Now, I would say that his art is better than his storytelling, but his storytelling is still good, and he's still learning, I think, of what to do with this storytelling, but he's learning fast. And this art, at the same time, again, it has sort of a very, very, I don't know, everybody's very, very thin, and you got to kind of get into it, but at the same time, it's professional done. It's amazing. And the reason why, well, there's a couple of reasons why we should support this guy. I mean, he knows when to use splash pages. This is an amazing story. It's a time travel story. Basically, if you haven't seen my other reviews, what it is you have these intergalactic race, and they have taken over, well, basically everything because they have time travel. And when anybody else starts to develop time travel, well, they go and destroy their planet because, well, they can go back in time before they actually get it done and destroy their planet so that they keep their control over the entire universe. And Earth was developing time travel, so they went and destroyed the Earth. And the main protagonist here, Juno, is a girl. Her mother was working on the time travel, and she basically shoved her into a different time in order to escape the destruction. And then she is the only one who has access to this time travel technology, and she's trying to rewrite history with the time travel technology in order to bring the Earth back. And, you know, it's a good story. You know, it's kind of like your Terminator kind of thing, but on a galactic level. So it's a good story. It's beautiful art. And the thing is that I don't think that Patrick Mulholland actually knew what he was getting into when he started this book, because doing everything himself, it seems like, from what he says on his Twitter, that he thought it was going to be much easier to do everything himself, and he found it much, much harder than it actually, you know, than he actually thought it was going to be. But at the same time, there is no dip in quality. This guy does not sacrifice quality. And even though I don't think he's going to be making a whole lot of money off of these last books, and it was much more than he actually intended to put into it for time, he does not sacrifice quality in this book. And it's great. And the thing is that I think he's looking to work for Marvel at some point, and we need to stop him from going to work for Marvel, because he needs to grow as an artist, both as a storyteller and an artist, because he's already really good. And if he gets into Marvel, they're just going to ruin him. And if you can go to your store and pick up this one from last week, because tomorrow's a new comic book day, and pick up the other ones, you know, you're picking up a 4-issue miniseries, and you're going to be paying a grand total of $6 for this. I mean, that's just amazing. Alterna is amazing that they can put out stuff like this, and you can buy it for $1.50. It's great. I'm not going to show the entire thing. Basically, this entire 4th issue is a battle. It's what it is, and it's what it needs to be. There's a couple of pages like this one where you have a lot of talking, but most of it's just straight up fight, and that's great. Culmination of your 4-issue miniseries. You got a good battle scene that goes on for your entire issue. So, again, if you want to pick something up from last week when you go in to buy this week's new comics, you can pick up the Terrifics. If you're looking for something and you're disappointed by Marvel's version of the Fantastic Four that they're coming out with now, but go pick up Zero Jumper. I mean, go pick up one issue. Go look this guy up. This is great art. This is great comics. This is a comic book that concentrates on storytelling, both through the story and through the art. And we need to support Alterna and buy these kinds of books, because all your Marvel stuff that you're buying for $3, $4, $5 are just going to end up in the dollar bins. And you can buy them for $1 in a couple of months, a year. It doesn't matter. Just pick them up there, right? All right. I always like to do these reviews just to break things up on my channel. I try to do them at least once a week. So that's it for today. Go look up Zero Jumper. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.